You know, in the world of construction, we spend a ton of time thinking about the risks we can see, right? Things like supply chains, the weather, labor issues. But what if I told you one of the biggest commercial risks is completely invisible, buried right under your feet? Today, we're talking about contamination and how finding it too late can absolutely sink your project.
Welcome to METRIQOm. That hidden underground risk is exactly what we're going to be digging into today, and more importantly, how you can protect your projects from it. So let's jump right in.
All right, let me ask you a quick question. What do you think is the single fastest way to completely derail a major construction project? It's probably not what you're thinking. It's that out-of-the-blue, unexpected discovery of contamination after you've already broken ground.
And that right there brings us to what we call the late discovery problem. It's that sinking feeling, that awful moment when you realize the site you were so sure was clean, well, it isn't clean at all.
I mean, just picture it, right? The plans are all approved, the heavy machinery is on site, ready to go. Everything looks absolutely perfect, ready for excavation to start. You can't see a single sign of any problems. And then, bam, it happens. That one little discovery sets off this immediate, brutal chain reaction. All of a sudden, you're looking at total work stoppages. Your disposal costs don't just go up, they explode. You're scrambling to do emergency investigations, you've got regulators on the phone, and now you have to hire expensive specialist subcontractors. All while the delay claims are piling up and you're being forced into a massive, costly project redesign. In that one moment, all your careful planning just goes right out the window. The project has zero flexibility left, your team isn't proactive anymore, you're just reacting, trying to make these huge, high-stakes decisions under incredible pressure while you watch your budget and your schedule just evaporate.
Okay, so that's the nightmare scenario. But what if there was a better way? This is where we have to completely reframe how we think. It's time to stop seeing environmental assessment as just another cost and start seeing it for what it really is, a critical investment. It's a project protection measure.
And this is the key mindset shift. We tend to look at early environmental assessment as, some compliance hurdle, a box-ticking exercise for the environmental team. But its real value, its real power, is as a strategic tool for the commercial team. It's all about creating financial visibility before a single shovel ever hits the dirt.
And that visibility, that's where the value is. That's everything. Because having the commercial power of knowing what's underground before you mobilize your whole operation, well, that changes the entire game. It fundamentally rewrites your project's risk profile.
I mean, look at this. It really lays out two completely different stories, two paths your project can take. On one side, you have the reactive path of a late discovery, emergency costs, crazy delays, paying a premium for everything, and just a total loss of control. But on the other side, the proactive path, we're talking planned budgets, schedule certainty, and optimized strategy. You stay in the driver's seat.
So, what does being in control actually look like on the ground? Well, it means your team can get incredibly smart with its strategy. You can plan exactly how to separate clean soil from impacted material. You can figure out what you might be able to reuse right there on site. You can budget accurately for any disposal or treatment. You get to solve these problems before the program is even locked in.
Okay, so the strategy makes perfect sense. Know earlier, plan better. But how do you actually do it? How do you get from a bunch of raw site data to making confident, defensible decisions? Well, that's where a tool like METRIQOm comes into the picture. It's all about providing that structured clarity.
You know how it is. So often, site data just comes in as these disconnected lab reports and confusing tables full of numbers. It's not really actionable information. What a structured tool does is it takes all that chaos and transforms it into a clear, practical workflow that a project manager can actually use to make critical calls.
And what does that workflow actually protect? Well, in very real terms, it protects the 4 pillars of your project. It protects your budget from those nasty surprise costs. It protects your program from getting hit with unexpected delays. It protects your design by flagging issues super early. And it protects you from liability by creating a defensible record for every decision you make.
So, when you boil it all down, it's about managing risk to protect your project. It really is a simple choice if what you're after is commercial certainty.
This quote just nails it perfectly. In construction, contamination is not just some environmental issue. We have got to stop thinking about it that way. It is a commercial risk, it's an operational risk, and it's a program risk. Full stop.
Look, if you take only one thing away today, please let it be this. Early assessment does not create cost, it creates visibility. And that visibility is the very thing that protects your budget, your schedule, and your entire project from falling apart.
And that's exactly why tools like METRIQOM's Environmental Impact Assessment platform exist. They are designed to give you that power, the power to turn complex, messy screening data into the earlier, faster, and much more defensible decisions that you need to keep modern construction projects in control and on track.